Hi, my name is Stefan. I'm from Denmark, and this is my 900 liters natural aquarium. The special about this aquarium is that it is a natural aquarium that is native with native species of plants and fish and organisms, and it follows the seasons. The temperature of the water is high in the summer and it is very low in the winter. This has a big effect on the fish and definitely on the plants. I've built it up with clay at the bottom and a thick layer of rough sand or fine gravel, about 1 to 3 millimeters. The substrate is pretty high most of the places, as I would like to have a lot of organisms and small animals, creatures living in the substrate and breaking down all these leaves and twigs and organic matter to give nutrients to the plants. The fish in here is the golden rod. It's a native species here in Denmark, and I have caught them myself on my fishing rod. There's also golden orth in here. They're pretty small, and I have them in here until they get quite bigger, and then I can release them to my pond outside. The plants in here, at the left side, we have ordinary Valsenaria. It grows pretty well at low temperatures. At winter, it almost stops growing, but it handles the low temperature pretty well. The other plants in here is native Danish plants. The majority is this green plant here, and it's called opposed pondweed. It's almost an endangered species in Europe, and it's red listed here in Denmark as well. But there are a few places here where it still grows, and one of them is not far from me. So I went there and picked up a few stocks of them, and I planted them here in the aquarium. They seems to grow pretty well in this setup, and also the rod likes them and eats a lot of them. I have also, I think it's called crisp-leaved pondweed. You can see it up there in the top. It's also flowering at the moment. These two pondweeds I have selected especially for this aquarium because they grow in the winter, even when the temperature is pretty cold. At the far side here, to the right, I'm not quite sure what the plant is called in English, but I think it's water milfoil. I have a lot of leaves, and twigs and wood in the aquarium, and down in these leaves there's a lot of creatures like scuds and isopods, different kinds of snails, big snails and small snails, and there's also different types of detritus worms. These creatures break down the leaves, and the only fertilizer I use for this aquarium and all the plants is just the leaves. I add a layer every now and then, and they break it down. Also, the rod seems to enjoy chasing all these small creatures and animals inside the leaves for a little snack. About the temperature in this aquarium, as I mentioned, it has seasons. It follows the temperature outside. I have this aquarium in my storage or garage or workshop, what is called. And it's an isolated building, but with heating in the winter. So the temperature gets as low as 7 degrees Celsius in the winter. It's about 4 or 5 months at that temperature. And then in the summer, it goes up to about 20 degrees most of the times. Sometimes if you have a heat wave, it gets up to 25 degrees Celsius. There's also wood in here, and it's oak. I have collected it myself out in the woods, and I have put it in my pond for a few weeks to get it soaked and build up bacteria and biofilm before I put it in this aquarium. I have collected lots of leaves and other things in ponds and creeks and put it in here to get the biodiversity as high as possible. I don't change the water very often in this aquarium. It's about 5 months since the last water change, and it's doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.